on Midday, Kentucky. Is it possible to perform a head transplant? We brought in Dr. Ryan Stanton to give us his take on this new, can we call it a technique? I don't know. We'll get Dr. Stanton's take coming up.
And it's week 2 of Dancing with the Stars. Hunter Lyle joins us with this week's recap.
Also, we're joined by the American Achievement Gap. He'll tell us more about the TAG fundraiser and how it helps lower performing schools improve their academics.
All this and more coming up on Midday.
Good afternoon, and thanks for joining us here on Midday, Kentucky. Troy has the day off. We've got David Goldman in with us from Bluegrass Medical Aesthetics.
Just me and the ladies today.
And we've got half of Lisa. Lisa is a little under the weather. We're feeling so sorry for her.
Yeah.
The flu has struck, but you've been chugging fluids.
Yes, I've been chugging the fluids, trying to keep my voice going. But
She's amazing.
Bear with me today, please.
She's
Lisa,
amazing.
you are amazing.
I'm not going to hold her down. She's incredible.
Well, it's the meds that are amazing.
Well,
Yeah,
it is what it is.
Went to the doctor yesterday, and you said you're already feeling a little better today.
I am. They gave
Slightly.
me some Tamiflu, so it just sounds really bad, that's all.
Well, something to cheer you up. David, in honor of his Midday Kentucky appearance, you want to offer our viewers a little deal, right?
Special.
What's going on?
Wow.
So we're taking $150 off all of our filler. So,
Whoa,
I
so
know the
what is
cat's
that?
lost. I'm still dealing with that. But you can be a winner at BMA and get some filler if you're looking to, get your lips done or get rid of some lines in your face. Not to be confused with Botox, but filler's like really when people have those, basically that little layover right there. Helps get rid of that. It's wonderful. We can all be a winner at BMA.
Winner
My
with the
heart is
filler.
still dealing with the loss on Sunday. I'm okay. I'm going to make it through this. But here we are.
Well, I like that with the filler. So, like these lines in here. Because I was kind of wondering, we're going to show you this next week, but I took the plunge, finally tried Botox. I had a massive wrinkle here, and I'm seeing amazing results. I went over to BMA to get it done. We're going to show you next week. But I've been wondering, I have some lines here that I wanted to deal with, but how do you freeze that? But so it's filler.
Yep,
That's what you do.
yeah.
Okay. Well, $150 off. Call Bluegrass Medical Aesthetics.
Wonderful.
Well, we wanted to kick off the show. David, you had a video you wanted to show us. What's going on? Something with the TSA?
It's really asking how you all would think about this. If your kids were about to go through a TSA search, and this lady was with her family, they got held for like 35 minutes, and basically they were just dealing with, not a typical search.
Okay.
And she felt very, I don't know, her personal space, it was really about her son, his personal space, because he's got a processing disorder, and when he gets touched, his sensations are a lot different. If you guys had to go through TSA and you're with your family or loved ones, how would you guys feel if you were having to go through like maybe an abnormal search? What do you guys think?
I'm just not understanding what's going on with this kid. And I've seen a lot of outrage on social media, and I think rightfully so. He seems,
he
just
seems
like a
like
regular teen. He's cooperating, but it just goes on and on and on. And
why did it take 35 minutes?
That's what I want to know. It wasn't really talked about. She said that it took about an hour and a half. But TSA was like, no, it took 35 minutes. But it's like, why would that take 35 minutes?
Exactly. I mean, I've been searched before, and it takes probably a total of maybe 5 minutes.
Well, and the mom said that, they didn't set off any other alarms. There wasn't anything special that like went off. And, I'd be a little ticked off too, honestly. I'm all about being safe, and I'm all about like going through the procedures and the process. She said that these guys kind of had that attitude, like, oh, we're going to do what we want attitude. And they just felt like they were being, a little, I don't know, it was very uncomfortable the whole time.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm glad that she recorded this because I think it gets the conversation going and raises awareness. I think this is kind of like most industries. The vast majority of the people working for the TSA are wonderful men and women doing a great job. But,
they really
but
are.
then maybe sometimes the rules even slip through the cracks. Like he probably thought he needed to be doing this. And I don't know, hopefully this video just brings some awareness and maybe some thought about why it took so long.
Watching the video, it didn't look like they were out of line, the TSA
Yeah, it seemed like normal searching.
It seemed like normal searching.
It's just, again, that 35 minutes.
Why would it take so long? That would be my question.
Oh, yeah.
Well, we'll post that video over on Facebook if you want to take a look. Now, my next topic, I saw a lot about this on Twitter this morning. Let's just get right into it. Should menstrual cramps justify time off work? And so this came up because Italy could soon become the first Western country to offer paid menstrual leave to women who experience painful periods. And they say it would be 3 days paid off per month. And get this, they're saying some places in Japan and Indonesia already do this. So only certain places within the country. But what do you guys think of this on principle?
I'm sorry. I just feel like, it was a part of life, of course.
Yeah.
So, I just feel like if you're having cramps, if you're having menstrual pain, take ibuprofen. And
or if it's that bad, I kind of think, just regular sick day. Because it can't be every month that it's that bad. What do you think, David? Would you take off work for that?
I'm sorry. I just think that I am not allowed to really talk about this. No, I think that this is one of those things where I'm just scared to say anything because I'm with two really tough ladies and I'm going to agree with whatever you all say.
Well, what do you think about this? It might create some sort of reverse sexism in a way where if firms know that women can take an extra 3 days off per month, maybe they'll shy away from hiring them.
Do you think
I don't know.
Do you think they're afraid of like maybe abuse in the situation where it's like, because as a guy, if you were like, David, I got to go, menstrual cramps, I'd be like, okay, cool. All right, cool. It's just.
But you would say that just to end the conversation.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah, because it's just guys. They don't know what you're going through.
I just think this is for like regular sick days. I don't know. I don't think we need
think
extra 3 days a month.
I don't think so either. And I think you're right. I think discrimination could start to appear with this as far as hiring women for positions where, they need them to be there every single day unless it's, unless it's a true emergency.
Yeah.
So it worries me about that.
Yeah, that's what it worries me too. Even just having that option, even if women don't plan to take it, then employers would be worried that the woman would take all those days. So I'm really interested to know what everyone at home thinks about this. So go over to our Midday Kentucky Facebook page and let us know. We'll read your comments if we see them throughout the show. I don't know.
I do want to see the comments.
But I do want to see more than 5 sick days a year, I think. And then you can use them for this.
There we go.
Well, Lisa, you have some interesting Hollywood news for us, something you dug up.
Well, I find things interesting. And what I came across was a piece that talked about our favorite films, but with a different leading person in the lead of that film. So what I looked at were classic films with a different leading lady. And here's number one. Here's the first one, Diary of Anne Frank. We all remember. And these are all classic films. Audrey Hepburn was actually picked to do this role, and she turned it down. Given that she grew up in Amsterdam during the war, they thought that she would be a natural for the casting of it, but she did not want to relive her years during the war, and so that's why she turned it down. We also have Jane Fonda turned down Bonnie and Clyde and Rosemary's Baby. Now, I could see Jane Fonda doing Bonnie and Clyde. I could definitely. Faye Dunaway was actually the one that ended up doing that film with Warren Beatty. And then Rosemary's Baby was Mia Farrow. So I thought that was interesting. Meryl Streep was picked to be in Thelma and Louise. So could you imagine with Gina Davis and Susan Sarandon? Her partner actually would have been Goldie Hawn.
That would have been great.
I feel like maybe they should still do that.
I know. It's kind of, let's do a remake.
They would still be awesome with that.
Exactly. And then Ava Gardner turned down Cleopatra, which, Elizabeth Taylor ended up doing that film. And it was, during the time, it was the #1 box office hit, and it was the most expensive film ever made during that time period, 1963. And then Elizabeth Taylor turned down High Society. So Grace Kelly ended up picking that film, and it was her last film that she did. So just some classic films, different leads
I like that.
Yeah, I thought it was
Shows
just
you
one little change.
So many of these films were so successful still, though.
Yeah,
and
they
you know,
were
like
very
you
successful.
think about these awesome actresses So, I mean, I guess there was some of that great writing.
Yeah,
pretty
sure
interesting. Well, this next story, it's pretty funny. And before we show you the picture, do you guys remember about a year ago there was a parent shaming kind of going viral, or child shaming, where kids would get bad grades or misbehave, and there were a couple instances that wasn't here in Lexington, but nationwide, where parents were having their kids stand out on the sidewalk, with a sign that says, "I failed my class and I didn't study," or something like that. Do you remember that? And there was a lot of uproar about that, and I was not a fan of that. I thought that was shaming the child and a little bit too much. But one dad may have found a funny way to get back at his son with sort of the same philosophy. So let's show you some pictures here. This guy was at the Cavs game holding up a sign. It says, "Thomas, get your grades back up, and next time you'll be here. Love, Dad." And so, of course, they kept showing this throughout the game. And, the child is at home. And he also had two signs. We have another picture to show you. This one says, "Thomas, can you hear me now? Student, then athlete, son, in that order. Love, Dad."
I like this because it's not putting the child on the spot with him being right there with the picture.
Yeah, what do you think?
It's the father doing it. I think it's cute. I do. I think that that's cute. And he's absolutely right, too, on top of all that.
Right.
Only people that would directly know him would know his son.
Yeah.
So I thought it was cute.
And I don't think he was embarrassing the child like we saw before.
Exactly.
What do you know?
I don't know.
We know you've got kids on the brain.
I think, whoa.
David is engaged. He's getting married. He's already ready for kids.
Man.
So you need to be talking about
Katie,
these things.
This is my mother. I would like for you to, they are one and the same with that conversation. But, I do think it's kind of embarrassing the kid.
Okay.
I mean, I think he has good intentions. It's funny.
I think it's funny.
But at the same time, maybe it'll push that kid to be like, okay, that's never happening again. Better get these grades up.
Exactly.
Try to play ball.
I mean, I would want to go to the Cavs game.
And those are like awesome seats. So
right.
Putting that line down.
I'd want to be there.
That's
Okay, so I don't think it was overboard. I think it's funny.
I didn't think it was overboard either.
And then I'm sure Dad will take him back to the game. When he gets
I sure hope so. As soon as he gets his grades up, he will.
Yep.
Well, David, you have another story for us.
Yeah, Snoop Dogg tweeted, "Oh, Canada." And I was like, well, what's Snoop doing, And he was talking about how Canada is actually going full out recreational with their marijuana laws.
Wow.
So it's a really big change. The Prime Minister has talked about how he's had a little bit of a past with smoking, but nothing to a high degree. He said
Justin Trudeau? No, I haven't read about that.
He said but he's just never been a real drug user. He did it with some recreational stuff, like with some friends at a cabin. But, I think this will be huge. One of the big reasons they were really looking to do this was because they wanted criminals to quit profiting from this and actually have it go through the legalization process, the taxes, and really being able to control it more.
So this is not just for medicinal purposes, really?
Yeah, and it's going nationwide, but the provinces will be able to actually figure out how they want to distribute it and how, who will be selling it and those types of things.
Wow, well, that's going to be interesting.
A lot of people have talked about wanting to go to Canada because of certain things, and this might be another poll. I feel like we might lose some Americans to that.
Yeah. I think it's pretty interesting, like he said, taking away the profit from the criminals and giving it to the states or the country. So
yes.
It's one of those things where
but
we're already seeing it. We're seeing that trend.
I'm kind of on the line.
I know.
I don't know if I want to see it legalized.
Well, but the thing is how
there's
do
a good
they,
argument for it.
How do they measure when it does impair you as far as driving, as far as all that?
Right.
I mean, with alcohol, they have a sheer test that, that they can tell exactly where your alcohol intake was.
I do know in Colorado, one of our friends runs a huge construction company, so it's really important that those guys are always, clarity of mind.
Yeah, right.
And they do like a strip that they do a saliva strip test.
Really?
So
wow.
These states, because there's multiple states that have passed the recreational, they have figured out some ways to test, but I think it still has a long way to go.
Yeah,
Yes,
I think we
so
need
too.
to know more about the potential regulation.
Yes.
I
yes,
guess.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, Lisa, you have a couple tips for us.
Yes. I wanted to, right now, I don't know if it's just me, but I have the munchies constantly at night. I don't know about you guys.
That's a perpetual problem for me. It's like lifelong.
I've been struggling, and I struggled with this for many, many years.
Okay.
But what I wanted to talk about was basically how you can monitor and keep yourself from overindulging and ruining maybe your diet or anything like that if you're trying to lose weight, how you can monitor this and be able to keep your willpower in check. So here's some helpful tips to help with your diet. Know your trigger foods. Make sure that you're not keeping chips and cookies and all of that in your drawers and in your cupboards. You know, this is something that, you know, if you have those around, you're gonna run to them. If you don't, you really just, you won't. And you won't snack on it. Or you're gonna have to drive to the supermarket, go buy it. You know, that's or the gas station. Nobody wants to do that. Also, stock up on healthy foods. So keep your fruits and vegetables, nuts, seeds, things like that. Very handy. Also, eat consistent meals. Don't go too many hours without eating. Make sure that you're keeping yourself full with healthier items, of course, but try to make sure you're eating full meals 3 times a day. That way you don't get low in your blood sugar and you won't crave those type of foods. Also, balance your plate. Make sure you get plenty of protein, fiber, fat, and then also make sure you have vegetables, and make sure that you keep it balanced on your plate. And then manage your stress levels. Everybody knows.
We all know we need
gotta
to
manage the stress.
Easy. Tell me more about this stress thing.
Stress,
Well, stay with us here on Midday Kentucky. We have much more coming up after the break. We're talking about a head transplant. I mean, what is that? I don't know.
So creepy.
We're bringing in our friend, Dr. Ryan Stanton, to talk to us right after the break.